Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Own Your Image Beyond the Mirror. Today I have Natalie Alcala. Is that how you pronounce it?
Alcala.
Alcala with us, and we are super excited to speak with her. She is the owner of Fashion Mamas, and she is just building a community of women. We really love what she do, and we're actually going to let her introduce herself because that's how we like to do it. Nobody speaks more life into you besides you. So I'll let you introduce yourself, Natalie.
Thank you. So I am, as you said, Natalie Alcala, and I am a former fashion editor. I was a fashion editor for a decade. And once I had my son 6 years ago, I created a community for mothers, and we started with 10 members in 2014. And today we have, it's our 6-year anniversary, and we have, oh my goodness, we have 600 members around the world, from Guam and Trinidad and Austin to Australia. We have members all over the world, and we also have a clubhouse, 1,000 square foot clubhouse in Los Angeles. And in addition to the community just for mothers, I took my experience of shining a light on all people of all backgrounds, and it inspired me to create my second community this year called Creative Career Club. And it's a community for all backgrounds and identities and parental status. If you're a mother, a non-mother, a plant mom, a woman, a man, non-binary, you are all welcome to connect and create together. So I've been really excited about that community. We have about 35 members there. And yeah, my passion is growing and building communities and shining a light through my storytelling. I like to share new brands and people doing incredible things. So that's what I do.
Love that. Love that. So you guys be sure to check out the communities that Natalie is building. Congratulations on your 6th year for the Fashion Mama. That's truly amazing. That's a blessing. So we'll hop right in. So what does the word faith mean to you? We'll start there. We'll kind of start.
Faith. So I think that comes from within, truly. I believe that faith has led a lot of the successes that I've experienced and in my family. I think that faith means kind of persevering and believing that you can, against all odds, succeed. I really believe that the universe is listening to your thoughts. So if you don't think that you're going to make it, if you think everyone is better than you, if you're comparing yourself to everyone, if you're holding space for negativity, the universe listens to that, and only bad news is going to come your way if that's what you see for yourself. So having faith in yourself, and obviously working very hard, those combined will really lead you on a successful path that's unique for yourself. So no one else's recipe for success is yours, because you're your unique person.
Love that. Love that. I love that you said it really just starts in the mind, like what you're thinking, the thoughts you're thinking about yourself, about your business, about what you can do, and not comparing. How do you believe that the faith that you speak of has strengthened you as an entrepreneur? And kind of take us on the journey. I guess I know you said you were an editor, of how you started in the fashion world and just being a creative overall.
I love this question so much because I didn't go to business school. I didn't finish college. I believed that I had a calling, and I just thought, no matter what happens, I know that I'm going to make this work. So I learned everything about the dream job I wanted. So I wasn't a professional writer, but I would go to the websites and learn about how do you write about, in college, when I was there, I just didn't finish. I was in school for creative writing. So I did have my craft is writing. But I definitely went to the websites and I looked at how they're covering runway shows. And I started to cover those myself. 1 second. Go, please, go. Diego. Please. And so I would start to write on my own blog, my own self, creating my own. No one was reading it; it was private, and I just started to write and look at the shows online and start to cover my own the fashion shows. And then finally, I had the courage to cold email all of the editors that I knew that could make a difference and help me get there. And I just shared with them the link to my mock fashion reviews. And one magazine took a chance on me. And I, you could just believe that you should just be in one box.
Right.
As a Latina coming from a family of a single mother, and I didn't have much, I could have felt that I don't deserve more. I don't deserve that. I didn't see a lot of Latinas in the fashion industry, especially in the front row. So you could think that your place isn't like that place isn't for you. But I thought, why? Who said? Who told you that? So I just was like, I'm going to try. And I think that the worst feeling is if you don't try and you don't know the what if, you don't know the answer to what if.
Yeah.
So I'd rather try my face off and try everything instead of the regret of not even giving it a try. And as luck would have it, as faith would have it, I worked my butt off and I took that opportunity. I could have shied away from the yes. I could have shied away from, okay, you want to be a big writer, Mrs.? Then here's a website. And I could have shied away and been like, I don't deserve this. Who am I to do that? But I jumped on it and I worked my butt off and I fine-tuned my craft.
Mm-hmm.
And I became an editor of Racked LA, which is one of the top, retail and fashion websites in Los Angeles. And I was their senior editor. I was the editor-in-chief running the show there, from a person that was just believed that they can do that. And then once my son was born, after traveling the world, Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, having that spontaneous lifestyle that we all miss and we know from our youth. When I had my child, I was just thinking that I wish I could see more people like me that love their identity and career as much as they love their family. So that's why I wanted to create that community. And I could have, again, I could have stayed in my lane. You're a writer. You're like, who said that you get to have like a second life? But I just believed that I'm going to actually, my whole entire life till the end of this world, do exactly what I love doing every time. And guess what? If you see me next year and I'm a different person, like that's great because I'm evolving all the time.
Yeah. Wow. Love that. Okay. You said so much there, Natalie. I'm like, so many gems. First of all, I love how bold you are. I think that's a nugget for you guys, audience. Like, she didn't have the experience as an editor, but she literally did some research, figured it out, and took a chance. That is super powerful, bold action, stepping into your purpose. And that's faith, like you said, that presents faith, the faith that you said. So that's really, really beautiful. And I love that you said also that coming from your background, you didn't see a lot of Latinas in the fashion world, and you were like, you could have had the limited mindset, but you were like, nope, I'm going to step out anyway. So super, super powerful. Good nuggets, guys. Write those things down. Wow, that's really, you're super bold. And I love that you're just like, if I step into something else next year, that's what I'm going to do. Like, taking the leap of faith, literally.
Yeah.
So how do you connect your faith as an entrepreneur, or how do you connect your spirituality, or do you believe in spirituality, and how has this shaped your career / journey?
This is also an amazing question. That's something I don't get to think about and reflect on often.
Mm-hmm.
I've had loss in my life. I've had trauma in my life.
Yeah.
I've had experiences that most don't make out.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make it out alive.
Yeah.
I come from a hardship that I know that there's a lot of people out there, a lot of women, a lot of anyone, people of color. I know that they can identify with this kind of hardship. And So that's the part that it's hard when I'm thinking about spirituality and faith,
Yeah.
because you think, why me?
Yeah.
Like, why am I the one that always has to be surviving?
Yeah.
Why do I always have to be fighting to make it, right?
Yeah.
So now when I see people they see me as successful, my biggest goal all the time now that I've made it to the top of what I consider in this year that I've made it against all odds. I'm always My goal is always to share my backstory. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that I never met my father. He didn't want me from the get go. I have a single mother. Stepfather was horrible.
Yeah.
Lots of bad boyfriends and bad decisions I made. There was a lot of things that happened that makes you just think, why me? Is there even a spirit out there that wants me to win? So
Yeah.
I decided that I want me to win,
Yeah.
and I'm going to be my biggest fan. And it's so interesting that it's almost like the universe looks at you and it's like, that's it. That is the secret. You're believing in yourself. That's all you need. Therefore, all of the greater power and the energy out there is going to be in your favor, and paving the way so you can keep walking forward. Don't let all of the naysayers
Yeah.
and the past experiences stop you from your goal, because the negativity wants you to lose.
Right.
You
Right.
know, always wants you to lose. So I'm in therapy. I have embraced my inner child and I want to hug her, and I'm just like, girl, you went through a lot, like you're still here. I've
Yeah.
had a lot of friends pass. I've had relatives pass that were my light. I think that's the hardest part. I think people that are listening can identify with this. When you lose someone, when they pass away and they were your everything, you're almost like, that is not fair. That is not fair. Like, I don't believe in anything, because that means that they wanted them to leave me.
Yeah.
And if the greater power wants them because they're just so incredible, like, why am I here? Am I a leftover? So you just start spiraling. So instead, it's more about, I think, the inner voices in my head, if they stay positive and I'm rooting for myself and not listening to negativity, not listening to gossip, or the the devil on your shoulder from your past saying, like, you don't deserve this.
Yeah.
You've made a lot of mistakes, girl. You've hurt a lot of people, so you don't deserve anything. You're going to suffer the rest of your life. I don't believe in that. I believe that everything has a lesson behind it.
Yeah.
Everything has a lesson. So everything that you've been through, it has led you to here. It doesn't undermine your experience. Every experience matters. So it doesn't mean that you deserved it, or glad that it happened. It doesn't have to mean that either. It just means that for some odd reason, you stayed here and you are breathing till this day, and make the best of it, because tomorrow isn't promised. So I'm on that higher power energy right now about, like, humanity and the human condition. Nothing phases me. I don't even think about what anyone else is doing,
Wow.
because I am just trying to make it day by day.
Love that. I love that you said, again, we're going back to like the thought process of your mindset, how you keep your mindset um is super important. Making sure that you are filling yourself up with positive thoughts, filling yourself up on things that are going to keep you going forward and not keep you going backwards. And I love that. Thank you for sharing your testimony. I think it's beautiful, and a lot of people can relate. I can certainly relate to that as well, not having a father around as a child. So it does take you through some traumatic phases in life, but those are part of your story. Like you said, like those things that happened, they are what pushes you to go forward and what pushed you to become the person that you are. And so thank you. That's really, 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 really beautiful. Thank
Thank
you.
you so
with
much.
with being with everything that you went through, I guess, how, I know we're saying like that it pushed you forward, but how did you kind of overcome some of those things? Like,
So I in high school, I went through a really big, you name it, I did it, period.
Yeah.
I just try to drown any kind of thoughts with numbing myself.
Mm.
And I became a bad girl. I hated men. So
Mm.
I reeled them in and I broke their heart, and I was satisfied doing that. It was just because I was just punishing my father.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did a lot of that, and I was reckless because I was just like, here's the thing, I was reckless, but I was smart and organically ambitious. It
Mm.
could be just like my zodiac, chart or something like that, but I was just like, I had friends doing the same right next to me, and they were not ambitious, but I also had an incredible job. I was also making money for myself, but on the weekend, catch me on the weekend, and I was just like, I'm going to numb myself and totally like, cuz in the back of my mind were always thoughts of my past.
Yeah.
But I grew up, it gets better. I met an incredible man that I feel like he saved my life. I think everyone can save their own life, but I feel like he is a big part of my story, my husband. And I met him 15 years ago, and he was just like, I was pushing him away, and he wasn't in an aggressive way saying like, no, stay with me. He was just kind of like, okay, like, I'm going to be patient with you. And I was just like treating him like not so good, and he was just patient with me, and it's almost like he saw like my potential of, opening my heart to love. And so it could have been love with a man, it could be love with a best friend. It doesn't have to. I don't think that a woman's journey has to identify with finding another partner. It could, for me, it was that experience, that it was the breaking the wall of male trauma that made me feel saved in a way. So he's been an incredible part of my journey. And I definitely think him more so even than my children, because it was a male figure, a grown man, showing that, they're not all bad. They can be good, tender, earnest, and kind souls. And it was something that I wasn't used to, because I was only dating criminals. I was only dating rock stars, and I was only dating men in the entertainment industry, just like a dark, dark life. And so I just feel like it was a lot of human connection saved me, and positive affirmations, and music really changed me. I've always been a music lover, but I was just letting myself get lost into it.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. Yeah, it was just a lot of work on myself. And then my new layer now as an adult woman, therapy. I cannot stress enough how important therapy is
Oh my gosh,
for
so
me.
important. I love that you said when your husband came into your life, because love is just one of the greatest commandments, and someone just loving you in such an unconditional way can bring
Emotional.
healing. And so that's super, super beautiful. Since you have started to talk about therapy, what is would you consider therapy a part of your self-care?
Yes, I
Mm.
really do. I feel that I have to pencil it into my schedule, just as any meeting, like I take a shower every day. I have therapy every Thursday. So I just pencil it into my day. And sometimes there is nothing traumatic to unpack. Sometimes it's just to speak. And my therapist is able to identify, was that the way to handle it? Or how did that make you feel? And it's because everyone is here just trying to live their life. So you really can't, unless you have a consultant that you're paying or a therapist that you're paying, it's hard to really nail someone down and just be like, ask me about my day, ask me how it made me feel, every single thing that happened.
Right.
That's not fair to other people, because they have their own issues to deal with. So to be able to really give myself that time every week has been incredible, because it makes me think about something I really learned that I want to share with everyone. Is I've always thought that everything that happened to me in the past, it's made me who I am, and I would not be successful without it.
Mm.
My therapist said, I want you to erase that idea that you are only as good as the trauma you've experienced. That's why you're successful. She tells me that I was going to make it here it could have been a different way. It could have been faster, it could have been slower, but I was always going to make it here. So I should not be thanking the past dark humans in my life that I've encountered in any way. So sometimes I use that in the past as practice just to make myself feel better, because the mind is powerful. It is the most powerful part of you.
Right.
So you can be like, today sucks, the pandemic sucks, oh my god, I'm spiraling, what is happening in this world, I'm going to be in my bed for a week. Or you can be like, I got to do my thing, I got to keep it moving, that's all I can do.
Right.
So her telling me that really set me free of that idea that I'm supposed to find those people one day and say, you know what, thank you for hurting me, because I don't need to do that. They're gone.
Mhm.
That's gone, and I'm still here.
Right. I love that she said that, because like you said, sometimes we think about our past, or we there's always quotes and sayings that's like, oh, your past is what built you. So we do like focus on, well, those things happen and that's why I got here. But you don't have to have trauma to get to where you're at. You don't have to have those things to
Yeah,
be successful in life. And so that's really, really powerful. And I love that you're going to therapy. I'm a super advocate for therapy. And so I started going to therapy when I was in my early 20s, and I was like, I never knew how amazing it was until like I've had several different therapists now, and it's just so good to be able to talk to somebody and unpack just small things about your day, what you did as a mom, what you did as a wife, did you say, and just kind of going through those things and talking to someone, like you said, is so helpful, because you don't always think. We just go through our day sometimes and we don't really take the time to sit down and think. And when you have someone to talk through your life with, it's like light bulbs go off, and it just brings continued growth.
absolutely, and it helps you communicate with people better,
Yeah.
because you are so set in your ways and you're so sure that everyone is wrong around me. What's going on?
Yeah.
And you could be part of the problem. So it's just really great, especially if you're in a relationship. It's incredible, because I'm carrying so much with me. One argument with my husband, it's all my past that comes with me in a backpack. So
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I'm not bringing in the entire history of Natalie Alcala every time we have the smallest argument about who should take out the trash.
Right. That's so good. Yeah. Yeah. I'm married as well. So like we do marriage counseling, and it's like, again, it's that powerful situation where you guys get to kind of bring your issues to the table and see that, hey, you're both wrong sometimes. Like you can't be blaming the other person for
Yeah,
everything in your life. So
absolutely.
that's really, really good. So I know that you're married, you're a mom, you're a business owner. What are some other things you do for yourself for self-care? And what does self-care kind of mean to you?
So self-care is few and far between because of being a mother of two and business owner and an overperformer. I'm a self-diagnosed overperformer. I need to be helping everyone else around me at all times. So I take a long shower because you can't bring your phone in there. Intentionally, I try to stay in there as long as I can, and steam is really soothing, and aromatherapy is really, really soothing. I'm a cannabis lover, and I believe that that's self-care too. I also am a writer by trade, so I'm writing down, not journaling, I'm writing more of just past experiences, and it's actually very cathartic to write them out and see how it all played out. And my hope is that I'm going to write a memoir sometime in the future to kind of just share, against all odds, how you can succeed. And and yeah, so I just think penciling that in is so important. Fitness is incredibly important to me. I work out for at least 30 minutes every morning, and it's a very funny sight because kids are crawling all over me and I'm trying to do this. Like, and then my daughter's like, pick me up while you're squatting. And I'm like, okay, okay. And you know what? It's not the same power as if you were working out alone, but I'm still proud of myself. Yeah, so I think that really, really makes a difference in your day. There's nothing better than when you come out of, like, you just had a shower and maybe you had listened to a podcast while you're drying off, or music, and you come downstairs or you come into the living room and you're just like, I feel restarted. I feel refreshed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So powerful. All those: writing, fitness, shower, steam, like those are all such good things to like take into account for self-care. And like you said, with having time few and far between, you kind of have to like get it in when you can. That's what
Yeah.
it sounds like. And so I really love that. Do you ever feel guilty for like doing things for yourself? I know being a mom, sometimes I'm like, oh, am I spending enough time with this person, or you spend enough time with this person, or do you ever, or I didn't work on my business enough today, or
I very much envy people that can say, like, with a straight face, like, no, because it's for me. And I know that's the right answer. But
yeah.
yeah, I feel guilty. I feel guilty every time. I wish I can have a what is it called? A monitor in the shower to see what everyone's doing in the living room. I wa- my what breaks my heart, and also I'm learning not to carry the weight of my feelings, like burden everyone with my feelings. But everyone knows that if I come out of the shower after my like hour to 45 minutes of self-care and there was a fight, or someone's in their room because they got in trouble, or like my husband got overwhelmed by the whole thing, it breaks my heart. It was like it was a waste of my time showering. And it's like what I carry with me. It shouldn't be that way. It's like, no, that was a beautiful time that I had alone, but I anticipate what may happen when I come downstairs. It's just like you take a girls' trip and you leave to Vegas or wherever, and then by the time you come home, it's like back to work and everything. It's not that all of that is gone to waste or anything. It's just very hard to come to after having such a spiritual, like, healing moment. When you're
Yeah.
back to the grind, it's very hard. You know, like just like after therapy, like off the clock, you're like back to my life, and I may have one year up the other, but like keep trying and keep learning, keep practicing.
Yeah, yeah, I can totally relate to what you're saying. I always feel guilty too. Like I'm like, you leave for a moment and you come back and you're like, oh gosh, this has happened. Like, oh my goodness,
And
you,
it happens so fast. They can get into so much trouble in
oh my gosh,
such a short amount of time.
short amount of time, especially when they're so little, right? You said you have a 2-year-old, so 2-year-olds can just get into everything so quickly. So I can definitely relate to that. And like you said, just coming down out of your self-care and then coming back to reality is like, okay, here's a switch. Let me take what I learned, but now I got to get back over here and do this. And so how do you feel like you could overcome that guilt? Like what would be?
Believing, trusting my husband,
Yeah.
believing him when he's like, it's good. I feel like he says it's good that I'm going to go shower, but like inside is he wish I was working the whole time with the kids, like being just with the kids. And he's like, look at my eyes. Like, I'm honestly telling you, it's fine. It's just a trust issue with men.
Hmm.
After 15 years with him, I'm still just like, there's a little part of me that always thinks that men aren't telling the truth.
Yeah.
And that's something that, that's on my past, like, that I'm learning through. But it's just, I know. And isn't it interesting how we see in the media, like, unfortunately, a lot of men are in the media that you see, like, there's like a lot of liars out there, a lot of mischievous actions, and it makes us women feel like, told ya. Like,
Yeah.
man, there's on a handful of good men still out there. And it's just hard because you want to give the people in your life that you love the benefit of the doubt, but there's a lot of trauma that you're trying to push past to get there.
Yeah, that's so good, so good. So I had the same experience, right? You have to push past that that trauma of rejection or abandonment, right, in your childhood, and just like you kind of said before, you don't want to bring all that on your husband. So yeah, I love that. Really, really, what I hear you saying is basically continuing to push past that trauma is a way for you to learn to overcome that guilt. And I think that
And keep
that's
trying. If today didn't work out, tomorrow will happen,
yeah.
God willing, and you'll start again, and you'll try to get there and try to be a better listener, and you know don't be so hard on yourself.
I love that. I love that. If today didn't work out, you messed up, you know what? You may have to say some apologies. You may just need to go to bed for the day and wake up and try again the
I
next day.
posted last week. I posted on my Instagram. I'm like, I'm having a really bad PMS day. I'm about to sabotage all my relationships, but And then so many women agreed. They're like, right? Like sometimes you're just like, I'm about to like hurt some people today. I'm so sorry. But it's just like at least you know that you're a mess sometimes.
Right, right. And you can acknowledge that. We have to be able to acknowledge ourselves. And I feel like, throughout this interview, I've heard you say like all about acknowledging yourself and your thoughts and the trauma you've come through and all of that. So kudos. That is super powerful. You are a powerful woman, Natalie. You are an inspiration to so many women. Our last question kind of focuses on how do you manage your time as an entrepreneur, a business owner, and kind of I don't necessarily believe in balance, but how do you balance it out?
So I really believe in time blocking.
Mm.
So you have your whole day. And some people just loosey goosey throughout their day and just wherever the wind takes them. And that's a beautiful way to kind of just be a free bird about your life. I'm a really like over organizer. So I need my day to feel like when I was in school. So I need to know like, okay, I wake up in the morning at 9 and then I do this and then I do that. I I feel like that is really helpful to me because it also is promising and it's something that like I feel safe in like a schedule. And
Yeah.
you know what? It doesn't always work out. Most of the time it doesn't, it veers. It happens. And that's the part that I've as a mother, had a crash course in learning to let go of because I was so used to wait, I do my workout at 10 a.m., no later than that. And wait, I have to go to my lunch and wait, I have drinks with my girls at 6 p.m., no later. And da, 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 da. It's just once you have kids, you're just like, I'm not going to make it. I have to cancel here. I have to cancel there. And you have to not be so hard on yourself about that. But with that said, to actually, something I tell a lot of young entrepreneurs or any entrepreneur out there is if someone is like, how does that person have it all? How did they work so hard to make it happen? There's a lot of sacrifice. There's a lot of sleepless nights. They're exhausted. Their self-care sometimes is at the wayside. You have to work really, really, really hard and you'll see the results. If you don't have the passion to in your day, you're like, okay, kids are asleep. Now I'm going to start working. That was the only time I could squeeze it in, but I'm excited because it's what I love.
Yeah.
If you're not excited about it, then maybe this isn't exactly your calling. There's
Mm.
a chance because me, I live and eat, breathe, and sleep it. I love my job. And sometimes I can feel like a workaholic because I love it. But you have to find a way to fit it in your day. So
Yeah.
I fit it in. And know your power hours. That's something I really want
Mm.
everyone to take away. Know your power hours. I'm a morning person. If catch me at
Mm.
2 p.m. or 3 p.m., I'm done with my day. I cannot focus. We're at the park. I'm with the babies. I might have a wine by 4 p.m. Like by the second half of the day, I am done with all the productivity. But I've squeezed out 100 emails before 11 a.m. So that's just my power hours. And if you have more to do, you do them when the kids are asleep. So be it. I try to work all of my day in the morning because I'm such an old lady and I'll be asleep by 9 p.m. for
Yeah.
sure. but yeah, I really believe that anyone who you see successful, I promised you that they worked their butt off and they squeeze in 26 hours in a day. Like they just make it happen. You just have to make it happen. It's hard work. I've interviewed assistants in the past and I'm like, why do you want to work for me? And they'll share because you get to meet like celebrity moms and you get to go to parties and get gift bags. I'm like, girl,
Mm-mm.
you aren't going to see much of the front end of the event.
Mm.
There's going to be a lot of back end experience happening. And guess what? The rolling up your sleeves is everything. We don't have more time than this, but I was a personal assistant in my past, and that's a whole other ballgame. You
Ooh.
have to roll up your sleeves and work from the ground up.
Yeah.
So there I go on my tangents.
I love it. I love it. You've given us so many gems. First of all, you guys note that power hour because that's super important when you have the most energy and when you're most productive.
Study.
That is really, really important to take away from this. We've had so many gems that Natalie has given us to take away. And I know that you have a free gift that you want to offer to the audience. So we'll go ahead and let you talk about that as we close out.
Yes. So as I was saying before, I have a second community called Creative Career Club. So that's for all backgrounds and identities, whether you're a mother or not, whether you're a woman or not. And I wanted to offer everyone 25% off on our e-shop. We have some really cool bucket hats, and I just hope, I would love to see so many people wear it, rocking our CCC hats. Yeah, so I will share that code with you guys for sure.
Okay, perfect. And then, so tell us what you have coming up, anything else you want to share, or any other launches. I know you have the CCC launch.
Yes. So we are celebrating our 6-year anniversary on December 11th, Fashion Mama's 6-year anniversary. So we'll just be having a series of greatest hits kind of content on our Instagram at Fashion Mamas. And at Creative Career Club, we are just taking a flight, and I encourage anyone who's interested to go check it out at creativecareerclub.com and see all of our incredibly unique members and some of the stories we're sharing there. So I've got my work cut out for me, and then the holiday season is just so wild. So yeah, and then in January it's always New Year, new me, and it's just like literally, please, New Year, new me, please,
Yes.
please. This was not what we were. You know, everyone had a vision board for 2020, right? It's like health and wealth, or like this is going to be the best year ever, 2020 vision, and it's just like, well, the universe had some plans for us.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely been a vision for sure.
All we can do is laugh or we'll cry, honestly.
Right, right. Okay, so thank you so much, Natalie. It's been super a pleasure. We've really learned a lot from you. And you guys follow her. Check out Fashion Mamas. Check out the CCC. Follow Natalie. She obviously has a lot to offer, and we're super excited that she joined us today.
Thank
And
you.
we'll
This
see
was
you
so
all.
healing for me too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yay. We'll see you guys all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.